What's the most inappropriate thing a teacher ever did in class that nobody realized was a crime until it was too late? Freshman year, everybody wanted Mr. Cade for economics. He wasn't boring like the other teachers. He let you call him by his first name if you earned enough class points, and he brought donuts on test days. And he had a system nobody else had. He called it the Cade Bank. Every Friday was deposit day. You'd bring in real money, a few dollars, whatever your parents gave you, and he'd write it in a fat green ledger and lock it in a metal box on his desk. In return, he promised interest, 5% a week. He said it was the only way high schoolers would ever learn how money actually worked. I honestly thought every school had a teacher like him. Whenever new kids joined, I'd explain it before they sat down. Bring cash on Fridays. Mr. Cade will make it grow. Most of them lit up. A few asked questions. I never understood why. Mr. Cade always had an answer. Money that just sits in a drawer at home is money you are losing. That sounded smart to me. Adults were supposed to know this stuff, right? He also loved talking about patience. Every time someone asked to take their money out, he'd smile and wait. Let it grow. Withdrawals process next Friday. Next Friday, it would be the same thing. No arguing, no anger. He'd just tap the green ledger and say, "The bank always keeps its word." So eventually people stopped asking. It became normal. In the spring, a kid named Omar wanted his savings back for his sister's birthday. Mr. Cade told him the funds were still maturing. Omar asked 3 weeks in a row. He got the same answer 3 times. The next day he told me, "Something about that guy is off." I laughed. "No, he's just careful." Omar asked, "Doesn't it bug you that nobody ever actually gets paid?" I shrugged. Why would it? I started noticing that other classes didn't do anything like this. One girl said her business teacher just used fake money for the whole unit. I remember thinking that sounded pointless. In our room, the money was real, and that felt more grown up. But I also noticed Mr. Cade never let anyone see their own page in the ledger. If you asked, he'd flip it toward himself and say the records were private. That made perfect sense to little me. So I stopped checking. Instead, I just trusted the number he read out loud. One Friday, a new girl named Kriya transferred in. Her mom managed an actual bank across town. During deposit day, her mom came to sign her out early and stepped into the room while the line was still moving. She watched 20 kids hand cash to a teacher who wrote it in a book and locked it in a box. Her face changed. She asked Mr. Cade one quiet question. "Where does the money go between Fridays?" He laughed and started to answer, then put his hand flat on top of the cash box. She asked to see the ledger. He said it was protected student information. She stepped into the hallway and made a phone call. Through the door window, we could see her talking fast, pointing back at the room. 20 minutes later, the vice principal walked in with 2 people none of us recognized. They asked Mr. Cade to step outside. We watched him argue through the glass, shaking his head, still holding that green ledger against his chest like it was his. When they finally took it from him, one of them opened the back section, the part he never showed anyone. It was a second set of numbers, the real ones. "Class, grab your things," the vice principal said, her voice tight. There had never been any interest. There had never been any savings. The 5% a few kids got early on was just the deposits from the kids who came after them. 3 years of deposit days, 3 years of allowance and birthday money and lunch cash gone into one man's pockets, one Friday at a time. By Monday, there was a substitute, a police report, and a letter sent home telling our parents most of the money was never coming back. The strangest part was how many of us still defended him at first. He was nice. He brought donuts. He couldn't have. Then somebody found out he had done the exact same thing at his last 2 schools, under 2 different names for the same system. As a freshman, I thought Mr. Cade was the smartest adult I had ever met. As an adult, I finally understood the most inappropriate thing he ever did. For 3 years, every single Friday, he stood in front of 30 kids and taught us one lesson. Always trust the bank. He was the bank.